Hi, my name is Sean. This video is in response to Tim and Brin's challenge from losers writing books to put your money where your mouth is, or your writing for that matter. I've been a teacher since 1989, teaching English literature. For the past few years, I've been teaching advanced placement literature and composition. Now, the purpose of this class is to teach students to write literary commentary and how an author uses literary devices to develop their ideas. And it's kind of led me down a rabbit hole. I'm going to retire in a few years, and I started thinking, well, what am I going to do? Most men, after 2 years of retirement, they die. And I think that would be a bad idea. So what I decided to do, write a novel. Now, in order to do that, what I had to do was, how is a novel written? What are the techniques? And to develop lessons for myself to practice with purpose. Because the main idea is to create mood, an emotional attachment of the reader to your characters. Well, how is that done? So I developed a curriculum, Let's Write a Novel. And exercises that go along with it to practice with purpose. And it's not done yet, and my video editing is not that great, green screen's not that great, but I'm working on it. But since Tim and Brin put out a challenge, I thought I would go ahead and do it. Now, my example comes from my second lesson, which is motivation reaction units and progressive complications. Let's take a look. Now, my reading is going to come from the second lesson that comes from my Let's Write a Novel curriculum that I'm creating. This lesson focuses on motivation reaction units and progressive complications. In this case, the emotions will go from sternness to rage. The lesson goes how I develop my ideas, how I outline my motivation reaction units. Then I just tell, focusing on my verbs, ensure that they have the appropriate mood that I want to create. Then my nouns and my adjectives, that they have a parallel mood that's created for my reader. Finally, I break out my writing and focus on my description. And in this case, I'm focusing on the most intense emotion has the most description. And now we get to my read-along. All right, here we go. Adolf swaggered into the common room of the inn with the step of a few pints. He adjusted his sword belt, stroked the royal seal of water on his tunic, assessing the jovial crowd. Asa sat in the corner at a lone table. Her fork shuddered and fell to her plate. No, she thought, blinking. Not here, not now. Heat rose. Her face tingled and lips trembled. She yanked the hood of her cloak to escape those dead eyes. Damn him. I will not, she whispered. Adolf strode to the center of the room. He leafed through the crowd, weighing each occupant. A warder's job is never done, he chuckled to himself. His gaze stumbled upon the lone woman in the corner. A recollecting smile slid across his lips. He pivoted, facing her, arms akimbo. They'd let any sort of scum in this place, he said. Bands clenched Ace's chest. Breaths came in short bursts. I will not react. I'm a healer now, she thought, squirreling further into her hood, eyes on her plate. She shifted her weight forward to the balls of her feet. Adolf's fetid presence gagged music, laughter, and conversation. All eyes of the tavern rubbernecked him. He stroked the cat claw scars on his cheek in remembrance. A boring glare lasered Asa. Stalking to her table, he bumped it with his hips. Cutlery, plate, and drink lurched. Look what the cat's dragged in, he said. He leaned in and sniffed. Been on the road long? Asa's shoulders and neck cemented the pain. She scoured the crowd from beneath the folds of her hood, all eyes huddled on their own business. Adolf stood between her and the only avenue of escape. I am alone, she thought. Her lips pressed to a white slash, locking eyes with Adolf. She resigned herself. Adolf scraped the chair close and straddled. He crowded, hand on the hilt of his sword. No one's here to save you this time, Asa. This is my neck of the woods, he said. His polluted breath conjured poisonous memories, fear, shame, pain, first blood, and hate. Asa's heart beat a rhythm of battle. Her fingers curled to barbs and shook. Her eyes raked the claw marks on his cheek. This time I will kill him. He will not have me again, she thought. She shattered her ale mug against Adolf's face, adding to what would be new scars. Adolf sputtered, splaying blood in a blurring froth. His eyes rolled round, hunting for consciousness. Mouth striving for speech, but breathing grotesque bubbles. He convulsed his shaggy mane, spewed, roared, and launched the table against the wall, and bounded to a fighting stance, drawing his sword. He spit. Assault on the king's water is assault on the king himself, he stammered. Asa smeared blood from a satiated smile. Rising deliberately, she faced Adolf, eyeing his sword, matching the hate in his gaze. You will never stab me again, she stated. Drums of war pounded in her ears, her lips strained, baring teeth. He stood erect. She stood erect, chin held high, raising her hands as claws of an attacking predator. Power erupted from the pain in her core. Blood now, only blood, she decreed. Damning power erupted, diffusing fire. Adolf was no more. Bittersweet ashes and an indistinct puddle that was a sword remained. Well, that's it. That's comes from my second lesson from my curriculum, Let's Write a Novel. All the years that I've been teaching, we just teach the essay. Students read something, they get the ideas, they write an essay, and it prepares them for state examinations. And that's why I'm going to be developing this curriculum, Let's Write a Novel. Not only for myself, because I want to write, but also for any students, my students, so that they can explore their own ideas and put them forth in fiction. It would be great as in the end that there's 1, 2, 10 we learned from my lessons and they became great novels. That would make me very happy. So remember, practice with purpose. Don't just write for the sake of writing, but do what you're going to do with a specific idea and a concept. I'll see you later. Bye.